Okay, now moving on to another hot topic and property and negative gearing. Let's start off with what exactly is changing with the negative gearing and when?
Yeah, look, this is going to be one of the major changes. From 1 July 2027, losses on established properties that are purchased after budget night are only going to be deductible against rental income and gains from properties.
And does negative gearing end completely, or is it just changing?
Look, for the most part, it's going to be quarantined. So applies to residential properties only. Losses aren't eliminated, they're just set aside, and that means they can't be applied against wages or other forms of investment income. They can be carried forward and applied against future income from property, or ultimately a capital gain when the property is eventually sold.
Okay. And what is the cutoff date for negative gearing changes?
Yeah, so the change is the hard cutoff from budget night. So it's properties acquired after 7:30 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time on the 12th of May 2026 are going to be affected. All existing properties are going to be grandfathered.
Are my existing or our clients' existing investment properties affected?
Yeah, so grandfathering means that properties that were acquired before budget night, basically having a signed contract before budget night, are going to remain the full ability to be negatively geared. Keeping in mind that negative gearing tends to unwind over time because of the increase in rent and the expectation that over time borrowings would be repaid on a typical P&I loan.
Okay. So what about if I bought between budget night and June 27?
Yeah, there is a transitional period to enable the roll-in of these rules. So if you have acquired after budget night, you will still be able to negatively gear, but it will just run for the 2027 financial year or up to the 2027 financial year. And then from 1 July 2027, that's where the quarantining will kick in.
Okay. And what counts as a new build for negative gearing purposes?
You were still to see the detail on this. It would typically be regarded as a dwelling that's genuinely adding to supply. So new construction, knockdown rebuilds, anything that's introducing new dwellings.
Okay, and I did hear somewhere, and again, it's subject to the legislation. If you knock down and it's one dwelling, it might be out, but if it's knocked down and two dwellings or more, it's in. So there's a lot of detail that needs to come out.
A lot of ambiguity so far. We're really looking forward to seeing what the actual legislation says.
Definitely. Can you still negatively gear, if I buy a new apartment off the plan?
Yeah, so as long as it's for a new build, new residential properties will continue to be eligible for full negative gearing. The intent there is obviously to encourage investment in new property.
And just to confirm, does this apply to commercial properties or is it just residential?
Yeah, it's only residential. There are no changes to commercial property or other asset classes like shares. They'll still continue to be able to be negatively geared.
You touched on this before, but if you could just elaborate a little bit more, what happens to the carry forward losses if you never make a capital gain?
Yeah, look, this is a bit of an unknown area. At the moment, it is indicated that it's a potential permanent loss. If there are insufficient property income or gains, the deductions may not be utilised and may be permanently quarantined. We'll have to wait for the legislation. The expectation is there that other future property income may be able to be applied, but watch this space.
So you might be able to use it on your consolidated investment or property portfolio.
That's our understanding at this stage, yeah, that a positively geared property and a negatively geared property may work well together.
Okay, and if that property makes a loss when you sell it, are the losses quarantined? We just don't know.
We just don't know, yeah. Yeah.
All right, are self-managed super funds affected by negative gearing changes?
No, they're not. So they're exempted. So SMSFs, managed investment trusts, which are widely held trusts, and other super funds are excluded from negative gearing restrictions, keeping in mind that negative gearing in a SMSF environment is a fairly complicated space requiring limited recourse borrowing arrangements.